Aloha! Welcome once again to Insane Disappearances. I am your host, Lamek. I'm here to blow your mind with some crazy stories that make no sense whatsoever, but at the same time intrigues you enough to want to hear more. So that's what I'm here to do. That's my job, and I'm glad that you guys are here to listen to what I have to say. Now, moving on to bigger and better things. First off, I just want to wish all the ladies out there happy Valentine's Day. I know it's kind of late, but I'm pretty sure you guys are out having some Valentine's Day fun with your hubby or your boyfriend or what have you. You know, all I'm saying is I'm glad you guys are out there having your fun. I'm at home by myself, not doing nothing. But hey, what can I say? It doesn't happen for everybody, right? Other than that, I'm extremely happy for all you guys out there if you're having fun on Valentine's Day with your significant others or friends or whatever you want to call them. But I want to get right to it. This isn't what you would call a Valentine's Day special video because there's nothing dealing with that in these kind of cases. But I just wanted to say that, just to let y'all know that I'm thinking about you. So happy Valentine's Day once again. And guys, if you're watching this channel and you out there with your girl, treat them right. Roses, chocolates, and a little you-know-what at the end. So you already know what that means. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But right now, right here, at this moment, I want everybody out there to join me. Become intrigued as I case read the 411 baffling unsolved cases of hundreds of random people who from clusters all over the globe who mysteriously vanished without a trace and are either never seen again, or found hundreds of miles away from their last known location, gone, deceased, or basically disembodied or chewed all the way up to the top of your skull. Weird, huh? I know. But with that being said, the word still got to get out there, and that's what I'm here for, to get the word out there. So today's story is going to be about Jacob Anderson. Jacob Anderson. He went missing on 12/14/2013 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was 19 when he disappeared. Okay. Now, oh wait, hold on, 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, now, if there was ever a story that had a lid kept on facts, this may be it. There are essentially no details about what happened prior to the incident, and few as to what the police theorized had happened. Jacob Anderson was an intellect and athlete who achieved high levels in both at Orono High School in Minnesota. He was the captain of the high school's championship lacrosse team and a member of its football team. Coaches made public statements about Jacob's leadership abilities and stated that when he said something to the team, they listened. He took his success to the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, where he studied I hate certain words that I can't. I'm sorry about that, guys. I get tongue-tied sometimes. Okay, pharmacology. Yeah, pharmacology. He was living in Pioneer Hall on campus. He had joined the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity and was a member of the Minnesota Pikes. On December 14th, 2013, temperatures in Minneapolis during the late nights after had dropped below zero. Sometime during the night, something happened to Jacob Anderson that is still unexplained. On December 16, 2013, the local CBS station in Minneapolis ran this story. The freshman's body was discovered Sunday morning just east of the Stone Arch Bridge or Stone Arch Bridge, along Main Street in Minneapolis. He was discovered by a passerby who noticed the body near the river. Other reports indicate that Jacob's body was found near the Main and Sixth Avenue, lying near the water. Police responded to the passerby's call and found him deceased. There were several conflicting stories about what happened to Jacob. One article stated that his mother said he fell and hit his head. Weeks after authorities obtained Jacob's body, the Hennepin County coroner made a public statement that he died of acute alcohol intoxication and hypothermia. They did not release his blood alcohol level or confirm that he'd been in the river. It would seem very odd for the student to be found lying next to a river if he hadn't been in it. The location where Jacob was found was approximately a half mile northwest of Pioneer Hall, where he lived. It was off the main campus and in an odd location. Jacob was found next to the Mississippi River, a body of water that plays a predominant role in this book. Wow. Okay. So in a nutshell, he was an exemplary student. He was the team captain of both teams at both schools that he went to. What happened to him wasn't in his character. He just basically up and disappeared. Let's see. They said the temperatures dropped below zero. Sometime during the night, something happened to Jacob Anderson that is still unexplained. On December 16th, 2013, local CBS station in Minneapolis ran this story. Okay, this is where I got to stop at, because this is where it gets crazy. There is, like he said, there is no evidence to state where he was before during point A and point B. It just said that he was at a college, and next thing you know, bam, he ends up in the Mississippi River. They didn't mention the nature of his body as far as what kind of clothes he had on, which would mean either his socks or his underwear and nothing else. Or they didn't mention the fact that there was some foul play or anything else. There was no evidence whatsoever. So here's my take on this. They did find something so weird, something so mind-boggling and out of the ordinary that they didn't even want to touch it. So they just came up with a typical excuse that comes from all the coroner's offices, and that's intoxication and drowning. That is a typical lie that they tell anytime they can't figure out what happened to a person that ends up in a river, which is 90%, well, 100% all young men. College young men. So yeah, very weird, very, 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 very weird. And I myself am stumped because there is no evidence whatsoever. They're keeping that under wraps. So obviously they did find something that was very, very, very strange. Okay, now why they're so afraid to let this stuff out, to get this stuff out there, I'll never know. Maybe they feel like they're going to be discredited. Maybe they feel like they're going to be called a bunch of quacks because there's no such thing. Okay, but if there's one thing I have learned from all this, is that the unexplained and the unbelievable are the facts. The crazy part is trying to clarify the fact that something unexplained happened to that young boy. Okay, that has always been the clincher in all these cases. The unexplained and the unknown, it plays a very big role in all of these disappearances and these deaths. But if there's no evidence to back it up, naturally nobody's going to believe anything you say. Okay, now you may have some people out there that may believe that something strange is going on in these national parks and national forests and urban areas, but do they know what or who this thing is? No. Now, as far as the people being devoured, like I said before, Jerry Atadero and a couple of others men in some of David's stories, where they said the only thing they found was bone fragments scattered all over the ground and a backpack. Okay, so something ate that guy or anybody else that way. They only found bone fragments in it, but it's obviously some sort of unknown predator that we know nothing about. Now, I said before about this lady who wrote a book about these types of creatures where they slip in and out of different dimensions to get here. Okay, and we're talking about upright, hairy-looking dog-like creatures that run on their hind legs chasing after animals. Now, do they have a hunger for human flesh? Maybe, I don't know. But there are stories about people who have seen these upright creatures. There's even a story about this creature called the Dartmoor Beast in England. It's a little small video. It's very blurry, but at the same time you can still make out the fact that it's a huge black-looking hairy animal. If you can see the tail, you can see the head, but you can't see the definition of the body itself. And then it disappears behind a hill, a grassy hill. But in all cases, I could say I know what it is, but I'm not, because I don't. All I have is theory and speculation. But the theory and speculation is 90% of all of the facts that surround all of these cases dealing with people that vanish without a trace or are found dead under mysterious circumstances. And by mysterious, I mean no bullet holes in the body, no stab wounds, no strangulation marks, no GHB, or sometimes GHB. The question that always comes up would be, how did it get into his body in the first place? Because he wasn't drinking. Because you know that's a date rape drug. They slip it into your drink when you ain't looking. You swallow the pill along with the drink because it dissolves quick, I guess. And next thing you know, you get raped. But in a lot of these cases, it normally be the men that have the GHB in their system, not the women. And the women too, I think, but and the men also. Okay, so how would something like that get in your system if you weren't even drinking? It wasn't fed intravenously, meaning a needle, because there's no needle holes in the body. They check for all these things. You know, it's like a typical Rosewood case, you know, with Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, not Lawrence Fishburne, but Morris Chestnut. Okay, now if the coroner's offices were that prolific to where they examine everything down to abrasions on the body that come from rashes or an acute sickness that may have occurred before you died, they track everything. He tracks everything down from that and just goes from there. Okay, now if they were that prolific and you can see what's going on here, I'm not saying they don't do that. I'm not saying that because I'm not a coroner. I don't know. That's not my profession. Okay, but still, for you to have evidence on what happened to these people and you don't want to voice it to the public, why would you want to actually do that? Because you got family members out there that want to know what happened to their child. Okay, now I don't care. I've said this before in one of my previous videos. I don't care how weird, how strange, how scary the evidence is. I want to know what happened to my child. That's just me. But it doesn't matter what you say. They're not going to do it because they feel like, okay, we have the evidence. We don't have to give it to you if we don't want to. And they're just that nasty about it. But at the same time, you know that my child died in your park or disappeared in your park, but you don't want to tell me what you found. And they'll lie and say they didn't find anything. I said, well, obviously you did. If people are still looking and talking about all this other stuff they found, like maybe the clothing or the backpack or the fact that you found a bone in the area where my child should have been. I mean, I'm just saying, there's so many different levels to all of this. It's mind-boggling. And once again, that's why I'm here, folks. I'm here to mind-boggle you, to get your brain all frazzled and crazed up because of all these things that's going on. But at the same time, you enjoy listening to it. And I know this because I got 91 subscribers. And I thank you once again. I love you guys. Keep it coming. Hit me with that thumbs up. That's all I can say is I love you guys, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad I'm doing you a great service by reading from the David Paulides Missing 411 books. You know, for all the ones that don't want to or really don't, well, okay, the ones that I'm not going to say can't, but don't want to order the books from where they are because they're outside of the U.S., so that means the shipping costs are very high. I understand that. That's what I'm here for. Whatever you don't get a chance to read, I got it right here in this book right here. Right there, see that? A Sobering Coincidence by David Paulides, Missing 411. I love this book just as much as I love the last one, and I will continue to get more of those books so that I can continue to wow the audience and all my YouTubers out there. And a big shout out to Tyler from, you know it. If you haven't heard, you're going to hear it today. You're going to hear it right now. Secure Team 10. This guy has some of the craziest videos I've ever seen, yet very informative because he talks about everything from here to the sun about alien conspiracies, UFO conspiracies, the truth about what's going on Mars, the truth about what's going on the backside of the moon, and actual foul footage of UFOs flying over people's heads. And I'm talking very, very crystal clear UFO footage, not just the balls of light that be in the sky, but actual ships that you never even seen before. They had this one video that looked like a bug or a butterfly that was flying backwards, and it was literally sitting right there above these people's heads. I think it was in Pennsylvania or Minnesota, one of the two. And you literally saw this thing move off real slow off into the distance. But before it took off, they actually caught a very good picture. Well, the sun caught a very good picture of it, very sharp, and you can see all these lights from these porthole windows that was surrounding the entire craft in all directions. They had all these lights all over the place, and in the back, it looked like flaps, like on the back, like a burner on the backside of a F-16, where they have those little flaps that open up where the flames can shoot out. It kind of looked like that, and it was very weird. So if you go to Secure Team, you'll probably find it. It'll be like a black UFO in the sky, and it looks like a butterfly almost, like, or some kind of a bug, like, you know, shaped craft that was not of this earth. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, that's my time on that story. It is indeed very weird, and the fact that the police department or the coroner's office don't want to release any information on the case because it's too weird for them to even try to fathom. I would think that would be the main reason you should do it, because you can't figure it out. But the parents are going to be like, okay, why can't you figure out what happened to my child? And if you tell me there's something weird happened to my child, I'm going to slap you in your face because I know my child was kidnapped. I know my child was abducted. Typical words from any parent. They don't want to believe anything other than that because it goes beyond reality. But the beyond reality part is the facts. That's the crazy part. Even more crazy part is that you can't prove it. You can only guess and theorize that that's what happened because of how the evidence is set up around the body, okay, and the fact that you may only find a bone fragment. So something ate that child, but yet you don't know of any animal that could do that. And I can tell you right now, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, they don't do that. They don't devour the human body. They chew on it, they drag it, they bury it under some dirt to preserve it for later. But other than that, that's it. They don't do nothing else to the body. They don't take. It's like someone picks up the body, places it in his mouth, and just keeps going until it reaches the top of your cranium, and then bites down on it to the point where there's nothing left but the inside of the top of your cranium, and it may be a little brain matter underneath it, like on the inside. So they scoop that up and eat that too, and wipe the darn bone clean. There's no evidence of blood or nothing, no DNA, nothing. But yet you see scratches on the skull, like what happened with Jerry Atadero. Weird stuff, people. But like I said, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you to listen to the weird and to know that there are weird things going on out there. So, but I gotta go. You know, that's my time on this story. Like I said before I started talking about other stuff. So I'm gonna end this video right here, right now, by saying aloha, mahalo, and hui ho. Peace out, brother. Shoots.